Part 49. Fantasy. After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 488. By the way, parents, has my master been here? Qin Hao suddenly remembered that King Yan had said that he would take care of his parents for him. Why didn't he see his old man now? Your master? Li Muwen and Qin Tian were stunned at the same time and shook their heads. Did master break his promise? Qin Hao's face was slightly startled. He knew that although King Yan had a weird temper, he was a very good person. Especially the relationship between the two of them, it goes without saying. In a wine shop in Han City. Ah, sneeze. A middle-aged man with fiery red hair was drinking wantonly when he suddenly sneered loudly and the wine he had just poured into his mouth spurted out. Who is this scolding me secretly? The red-haired middle-aged man murmured in his heart. Suddenly his mind moved, and he found that a familiar face suddenly appeared in the hut in the backyard of the Qin family. Hey, this guy is out? Much faster than I expected, it seems he has found the passage. Opportunity and luck are really good things. Anyway, this guy is back, so he won't need it in the future. Work as a janitor for him. Well, by the way, this guy is pretty good to me, an unknown master, so I'll go for him and see if I can save him. The red-haired middle-aged man is the king of flames. Don't look at him like a drunkard at the moment. In fact, his cultivation is so strong that his soul covers the entire Han city, which is also extremely easy. Ever since he left the King of Flames' absolute territory, he then came to Han city. He found a wine shop, tasted the world's fine wines, and took care of his apprentice's house. With his cultivation, who else could be arrogant in front of him? At that moment, King Yan disappeared in a flash. In a wine shop. Pity the waiter, he still hopes that this alcoholic uncle can bring him a lot of income. The money for the drinks from the past few days has not been paid yet. In the small house in the backyard of the Qin family, Qin Hao naturally I don't know that his master Yan Wang did not break his promise, but Yan Wang had his own way. Putting this topic aside, Qin Hao stopped thinking about this depressing matter. He suddenly thought of a very important thing, and immediately jumped out of his body. Take out 3 crystal longan-sized pentagonal blue fruits that look like stars from the storage space. They are crystal clear, like hibiscus emerging from water, exuding the alluring fragrance of bursts of spiritual energy. Lian Xingguo. Qin Tian's face was startled, and then he was overjoyed. He had searched so hard for this star fruit, but couldn't find it. Naturally, he knew the star fruit very well. Now that Qin Hao took it out, Qin Tian was completely shocked. To be honest, Qin Hao he was surprised to be able to come out, but he also thought it was due to luck. But Qin Tianzhen was shocked to be able to get even the star fruit back. These star fruits were given by the master. Is your master the senior Yan King? Well, I really should thank him. People in this world are unpredictable, and there are very few people like him. Qin Tian is also grateful in his heart. Dad, eat this star fruit now. When your cultivation is fully restored, we, father and son, will join forces to explore the Night Wish Forest and rescue Uncle Zhang Luo. Qin Hao is very confident that even the illusion of death cannot stump him. He is also confident that he can trample it under his feet in the Night Wish Forest. He firmly believes that nothing is difficult in the world, as long as you are willing to climb. It turns out you knew everything. Qin Tian smiled bitterly. To be honest, Qin Hao did a good enough job. But there was also a lot of luck involved. At least in the illusion of death, Qin Hao was about to die several times. So he was more concerned about this. Qin Tian didn't want Qin Hao to go to the strange Night Wish Forest. Even if he went, he didn't want Qin Hao to go. Dad said that a man must dare to take responsibility. What are the difficulties to be afraid of? Uncle Zhang Luo took great care of us. If it weren't for his help, I would have died in that Han city 7 years ago. If it hadn't been for his care over the years, it's not certain whether our family would have survived. Moreover, he is still his father's good brother. Qin Hao absolutely cannot sit back and watch him fall into despair. As soon as Qin Hao said this, Qin Tian's face became more and more emotional. Qin Hao has really grown up. It has been a month since the spies of the major forces entered the Night Wishing Forest within the Night Wishing Mountains. Zhang, it's not certain whether Luo is alive or dead. It's also possible that he encountered some situation and can't come back for the time being. However, you are right, we must go to the Night Wish Forest and at least give it a try, otherwise Qin Tianzhen will regret and feel guilty for the rest of his life. After that, Qin Tian laughed and took out 2 more things from his body. They were a rock white stone and a small bottle. They seemed to be the earth core stone and moon white phosphorus fire dew that Qin Tian once mentioned. These 3 treasures you really need the help of a master of alchemy to refine the forbidden breaking pill, which can break any restrictions at any time, and also greatly increase your cultivation level. Dad, let me come. Qin Hao smiled slightly and took out a cauldron from his body, which was an acquired spiritual treasure. This acquired spiritual treasure cauldron belongs to Qin Hao and is specially used for refining elixirs and weapons. The backyard is clean and few people come to disturb it. As for the things ahead, naturally there are dry bones Dao ancestor and others to carry them. It takes some time for them to recognize their ancestors and return to the clan. Qin Hao is confident that he can just refine it during this time. Qin Hao's magic power moved, and suddenly in his palm a ball of 2 color flames emerged, one white and one black, exactly opposite each other. This flame was nothing else, but the 2 pure fires. Back in the Yanwang Absolute territory, Qin Hao had the story that immortals and demons were in one body. After Yanwang knew about it, he spread the news. It gave Qin Hao a flame that required the combination of Shura and immortal magic powers to produce. The power of these 2 pure fires is close to that of the heavenly fire, and the ordinary Samadhi true fire is no match. The most important thing is that the 2 pure fires are no match. The effect of fire alchemy and weapon refining is the best. Ordinary masters of the immortal world make alchemy and weapon refining by 2 alchemists, one immortal and one demon, forming 2 rituals of pure fire. Then, the effect of refining the weapon and alchemy is greatly increased. This time Qin Hao is the same body of immortal and demon. He has already refined the 2 flames of immortal and demon into one body, forming the 2 pure fires. The 2 pure fires ignited the cauldron and submerged the rock white stones into the cauldron first. Among them, Qin Hao knew that the earth core stone belonged to fire and was not afraid of ordinary flames. However, it would take more time to refine the Lianji pure fire than the Lian seeing fruit. Therefore, the earth core stone must be refined first. The heart stone, then the Lian seeing fruit, and finally the moon white phosphorus fire dew. Qin Hao sat cross-legged, concentrating on refining the elixir, while Qin Tian waited anxiously beside him. As for Li Muwen, she went to prepare the food and let Xiao Bai and Qin Hao try their skills. In the Qin family's main hall, the withered bone Taoist and others were waiting peacefully. Suddenly, accompanied by a strong pressure, under the leadership of Qin Nanfei and Qin Yu, a white-haired old man in plain clothes stepped on entering the main hall. The old man was very old, but his expression of indifference revealed the pressure of a superior. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 489. Seeing that the ancestor everyone was talking about turned out to be this old man, the withered bone Dao ancestor's face flashed with joy. As soon as the old man stepped into the hall, he ignored everyone and locked eyes with the withered bones Taoist ancestor. His eyes flashed and said, "Tianxian, come with me." After saying that, he ignored everyone and the leader, Dry Bones Taoist, was about to leave. "Ancestor, wait a minute, the origin of this person has not been made clear yet, I'm afraid." Qin Yu's face darkened after all, and he said, "Snort." The old man, the ancestor of the Qin family, snorted coldly. "Do you still need to confirm? I naturally recognize Qin Tianxian, you don't need to say anything." After that, he led the withered bones Taoist ancestor away. Obviously, this old man and the withered bones Taoist ancestor knew each other, and their relationship seemed to be quite close. Farewell to the ancestors. Qin Yu is not an idiot. Although he feels unhappy, he is not stupid enough to challenge his ancestors. Isn't he just an outsider? So what if he comes? He will not pose a threat to himself. Anyway, he may also be a member of the clan in the future. As the elders of the elders, Qin Yu was thinking about when to curry favor and repair the relationship. Maybe it would be useful again. After all, he is also a master of Hunyuan Saint. Therefore, I Wu, Qin Yu did not expect that this new elder would follow whatever grudges I have. I am polite to everyone at the moment. It turns out that we are a family. I have offended Qin Yu a lot before, so please forgive me. Hey, that fellow Taoist. Qin Yu keenly noticed that the mysterious young man was missing. He handed over his hands and asked politely. "Qin Hao, you said, he's out." Ancestor Maluo didn't like Qin Yu either. He knew he would be his enemy, but Qin Hao naturally couldn't be noticed by him, so he said lukewarmly. "Qin Haoshan. Qin. You secretly wrote down this name. If you want to take down Elder Qin Tianxian, you have to start with his grandson Qin Haoshan. Young people are always greedy and so on, so they are much easier to deal with than those old guys." Regarding Patriarch Maluo's indifference, Qin Yu didn't take it seriously, and said to the servants outside the palace. "Come, go clean Dongling Pavilion and ask all brothers and seniors to stay here." He wanted to fawn over and repair the relationship, but unfortunately he didn't know that these people and the Dry Bones Dao ancestor were his opponents who he wanted to kill at all costs. It's ridiculous that he still wants to fawn over others. Sooner or later, he will also die. But the old man of the Qin family ancestor, introduced the withered bones Taoist ancestor into the Qingxiu pavilion where he was retreating. Immediately, the withered bones Taoist ancestor fell down and worshipped. Tianxian pays homage to the clan uncle. It turns out that the withered bone Taoist and the ancestor of the Qin family are indeed old acquaintances, and this person is also his uncle. "Well, Tianxian, tell me, how did you come out of that illusion of death? With your current strength at the peak of Hunyuan Saint, it should not be enough to get out of this death illusion. So what is the secret of the death illusion?" Despite the calm look on the face of this ancestor of the Qin family, he is actually extremely excited in his heart. The illusion of death, known as the great secret of the ancient world, is known as one of the three most dangerous places, along with the Nightwish Mountains and the Yujiao San Sea. Name. Except for an unknown monk who walked out 300 years ago, no one knows what the secret is there. However, according to what that person showed, without the cultivation of the Dao ancestor, he will definitely not be able to get out. But now Qin Tianxian actually came out of it, which shows that Qin Tianxian definitely did not break through with his cultivation, but found something. Why does this ancestor know about the withered bone Dao ancestor, but others don't? 100 years ago, as a member of the Qin family, one of the members, Qin Tianxian, the father of the withered bone Dao ancestor, failed in the clan chief competition, and eventually his family was reduced to servants. Qin Tianxian was also amazingly talented and wanted to rise up. However, the clan leader at that time made up his mind and wanted to the position was passed on to his son, and he tried his best to prevent others from getting up. And Qin Tianxian was also amazing because of his own talents. It happened that the illusion of death needed someone to go in and open up a base, so the patriarch of that generation, so they secretly selected Qin Tianxian and others. And it was so secret because the competition in the death illusion was too great at the beginning, and countless forces wanted to get involved. It was inevitable that some forces had grudges. In the death illusion, there would be even more fighting, so they concealed it. Qin Tianxing's identity, and even knowing that he has a foothold in Luofu Mountain, everyone knows that the Zilong sect is a force of the Immortal Clan, but who opened it? Everyone only knows the Withered Bone Taoist, but they don't know who the Withered Bone Taoist is. And the founder of the Withered Bone Taoist decades after Zilongzong. Qin Tianxing began to retreat due to the challenge of the 6th level, and appointed Xiao Shifang as the first elder. But Xiao Shifang did not know Qin Tianxing's identity. So although he and Xiao Shifang Qin Yu contacted him, but about the matter of the previous generation, except for Qin Tianxing himself, 5 people in the 47th generation knew about it, and in the 46th generation, only this ancestor, Qin Tianxing's clan, was left. Uncle. It can be said that only he knows the whole thing. He knows Qin Tianxing, and Qin Tianxing also knows him. He is the truly most powerful person in the entire Qin family now. Legend has it that he is already in the late stage of Dao ancestor, and the Hunyuangu, the masters behind the world, also have some intersections. And it was he who reminded Qin Hao that dry bones Daozu. I don't know the secret of the death illusion either. But this time, something happened in Luofu Mountain on the 6th level of the death illusion, and all the forces were unified by the Taishu Immortal section. Xiao Shifang also died in the battle, and Luofu Mountain was destroyed. I should have died in the battle, but because of the collapse of the Zilong sect, I accidentally broke into a teleportation array, and actually came out of the teleportation array. Speaking of which, I still feel a little bit magical now. Before the Withered Bones Taoist, Qin Hao and others prepared to come, they had already thought of countermeasures, and their words were half-truths and half-falsehoods. Falsehoods, truthfulness, and lies were the most convincing. After all, with the ability of the Qin family, sacrificing another tribesman from the Great Luo period to step into the illusion of death and enter the 6th level. Although they can't get everything back, the situation in Luofu Mountain is the same as they said. However, what no one knows is that this Taishu Immortal sect who is standing behind the teleportation array and the Taishu Immortal sect, I heard Xiao Shifang say before, are just an internal force rising up. They are supported by that fire puppet Taoist ancestor. It is said that we and the others should be in a state of checks and balances, and there are the 6 major. The power has been circulating in it and has been balanced for decades. How can it be broken just by saying it is broken? The ancestor is so powerful, the human spirit, he hit the vital point instantly. Yes, but this time there was an innate spiritual treasure hammer from Chongshan Ridge, and there was also a demon Qin Hao. The Taishu Immortal sect united with him, and the entire ancestral dragon sect, and even I, even at the risk of my life, broke through to the great Dao ancestor. Opponent. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 490. Regarding Qin Hao's matter, Qin Hao has thought a lot after all, at least his strength cannot be said. Otherwise, if the creator is jealous or suspicious, I am afraid that with his current strength, he will be exterminated before he can cover the sky with one hand. So the two of them discussed it. Qin Hao is Qin Hao, and the devil Qin Hao is the devil Qin Hao. They are not consistent. Is there really such a powerful master, the devil Qin Hao? Could it be that he is? The ancestor seemed to have thought of something and was shocked, but he said no more. Ancestor, what? Dao ancestor Dry Bones didn't know what this ancestor was thinking of. He was shocked and thought he had missed it. Oh, it's nothing. By the way, when you come out of that teleportation array, you must have landed somewhere. The ancestor obviously believed what the Withered Bone Dao ancestor said, and began to ask about the teleportation array again. Being able to save people from the illusion of death is probably a secret that no other force knows. If it can be found and occupied, then after the Qin family of the immortal clan has been trained in the illusion of death, how many elites should come out? At least the treasures in it are enough to greatly increase the power of the Qin family. Therefore, the topic that the ancestor is really concerned about has turned back to the teleportation array in Qianlong Mountain. Of course Taoist Dry Bones would not tell the truth. He only said that he arrived at the bottom of Qianlong Mountain as soon as he appeared. Anyway, when the people of Qianlong Mountain found him, they only found him at the bottom of the mountain. Although it is a bit mysterious to appear out of thin air, he really saying this, the ancestor had to believe it. After all, Qin Hao also said that no one could use the teleportation array except him. Even if the ancestor found it, not to mention that the teleportation array was already protected, the people who went there were not close at all. No. Even if we get close, we can't use it, let alone find the cave halfway up the mountain. The current Withered Bones Taoist is sincere to Qin Hao. In addition, Qin Hao has a similar experience to him and has unlimited potential. Withered Bones Taoist, but he made up his mind to help him. The foot of the mountain, thinking that he is in Qianlong Mountain, at least from a famous family, I am afraid that if he goes there in the future, he will have to pay a visit. However, if he mobilizes a large number of people, it is impossible not to attract attention. And the Qin family obviously wants to monopolize the matter of the teleportation array. No good idea came up for the time being. The ancestor frowned, but suppressed it for the time being, and repeatedly warned the Withered Bone Dao ancestor. Don't spread the word about Luofu Mountain, and only you and I know about the teleportation array, right? As soon as the ancestor said this, he revealed a cold meaning. It made the Withered Bone Dao ancestor feel cold in his heart. Thinking of the people who came with him, could the clan uncle want to deal with them? He knew how powerful this clan uncle was, and he would kill decisively. Cruel and ruthless. In this way, the whole plan had to be stopped, and then everyone ran away. Ancestor, these people are all my confidants, and I can absolutely trust them. They are all my brothers who fought their way out of the ancestral dragon sect with me. The Withered Bones Taoist had to take a gamble and pretended not to be able to bear it. The ancestor laughed and said, "What did you have in mind? These people are the elders of my Qin family. How can I kill them? I just want you to tell them to keep the secret strictly." "Thank you, uncle." The Withered Bones Taoist didn't know if this ancestor was using a slow-down strategy, but since he said this, he obviously wouldn't betray his face openly. Therefore, the Withered Bones Taoist ancestor breathed a sigh of relief and said again, "Uncle, do you know that I lead the army? Is there a young man among those who came back?" "Well, isn't he your grandson Qin Haoshan? Since he is a direct descendant of my Qin family, he should naturally have an identity." "Well, isn't he a late-stage Daluo, so let him be an elder, exactly on the same level as Qin Nanfei and the others." The ancestor was slightly startled, thinking that the Withered Bone Taoist was here to ask for credit. "No," Withered Bone Taoist ancestor suddenly said, "he is not my grandson. After all, he should be the 50th generation descendant of my Qin family. Does the clan uncle know that little guy Qin Tian?" "Well, Qin Tian, it's him." The ancestor also remembered it and was slightly startled. Qin Tian had a great reputation back then. In the entire Qin family, he was definitely a genius who stood out from all the others. Even the ancestors also paid attention to Qin Tian, and the elders of the 48th generation paid even more attention to Qin Tian. The reputation of Tian Guan's support far exceeded that of Qin Yu. But later, because of Qin Tian's disobedient behavior, everyone in the Qin family felt that they had lost face, so the whole family hunted Qin Tian. Although the ancestors did not take action, they were so powerful the incident definitely alarmed the ancestor. Later, Qin Tian was sealed and became a servant of the Qin family. The ancestor saw that he was a descendant of the Qin family and a genius, so he did not care about him anymore, but let him Qin Yu became the clan leader. Now that Qin Tian is mentioned again, the ancestor seems to be recalling those days and sighs in his heart. Yes, it is the 49th generation Qin Tian. The young man I brought back is not Qin Haoshan, but Qin Hao. He is Qin Tian's son and a direct servant of the Qin family. Qin Hao, it turned out to be Qin Tian's son, no wonder he was such a genius. What, Qin Tian's son De Luo was in the late stage, how could this be possible? The ancestor was still muttering at first, but suddenly his face suddenly changed. He remembered that the younger generation in the clan was in the late De Luo period. This is unique in the entire Hunyuan ancient world. In the short period of 100 years in the late De Luo period, is it possible that our Qin family is really going to unify the primordial world? The ancestor just didn't laugh out loud. Such a genius will definitely make the gods and ghosts cry. Not only that, his strength is also rare among the late De Luo monks. Even the elder Feng Qingyang in Jianlong Mountain was no match for him. When the dry bones Taoist ancestor talked about Qin Hao's experience, he naturally would not tell everything in full, but would make some changes. However, his clan uncle, the ancestor of the Qin family, was stunned. In just 100 years, he achieved the De Luo status. The entire Hunyuan ancient world is also an unparalleled genius. His fighting power is so strong that even elder Feng Qingyang of Jianlong Mountain is no match. How can such a genius be considered a genius? Unparalleled in ancient times and today, no, he should be a monster. Perhaps, even the demon cultivators who claim to have quick success in cultivation 3,000 years ago were not so perverted. After all, real masters like the ancestors all understood that. From the true immortal to the golden immortal to Tai, some are just the accumulation of energy. It can be said that it can be piled up with elixirs. There is no difficult requirement for understanding the way of heaven. However, if you want to achieve the De Luo stage, you need to understand the entire world. The difficulty is 10,000 Tai, only dozens of early masters can succeed. And the further you go in your cultivation, the harder it is to make further progress. You can imagine the difficulty involved. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 491. Compared with his ancestor himself, Qin Hao's cultivation level has risen sharply. What a Qin Hao, he is worthy of being a descendant of my Qin family. Now our Qin family is really on the verge of revitalization. The ancestor couldn't help but want to laugh. Such a genius would believe that he could force his way out of the illusion of death with his own strength. After all, Qin Hao's strength and abnormality are there. Haha, Tianxian, you did a great job. This Qin Hao, go and pass on my order. Oh no, I will go myself and make him an elder directly, and his treatment will be the same as Qin Nantian and the others. And that Qin Tian, his seal, well, it's been decades, and it's time to lift it. Sure enough, if you have strength, you are the master. Once Qin Hao's strength is revealed, even the ancestors can't sit still. Wait. Seeing that our ancestor was about to leave, Dry Bones' Taoist ancestor was very anxious, but he still had something to say. Ancestor, I'm afraid Qin Hao's matter cannot be handled this way. As for Qin Tian's matter, there is actually something else hidden behind it. As soon as the Withered Bones Taoist said this, the ancestor's passion was extinguished. With his shrewdness, he couldn't guess that Qin Tianxian had been talking for a long time, probably to explain another thing. So, he brushed calm down and listened to what Qin Tianxian said. Back then, after Qin Tian, who was known as the #1 genius in the Qin family, Qin Tian had his cultivation level sealed, and then Qin Yu took the position of clan leader. Withered Bone Taoist patriarch was not polite, and immediately organize language and tell the truth about that year. This was all what the dry bones Dao ancestor had thought about after he stepped into the store. He took the opportunity to tell the truth of the matter. He must have been there and had Qin Hao's abnormal talent. The ancestor will repay the matter fairly. Unexpectedly, as soon as the dry bones Taoist finished speaking, the ancestor remained silent for a long time without any expression on his face. Immediately, the ancestor said then the seal of Qin Tian was released, and the father and son were separated. Du was made an elder, and then gave Li Muwen a marrow cleansing pill to help her directly enter the true fairyland, and allowed her to practice my Qin family's skills. As for this matter, Xiu will mention it again in the future, and you are not allowed to reveal it to outsiders. As soon as the ancestor said this, the eagerness on the face of the dry bones Taoist turned cold. Ancestor, Qin Hao is the hope of my Qin family. With his talent, if he is not given a good answer and justice, I am afraid that. Unexpectedly, before dry bones Daozu finished speaking, the ancestor directly interrupted him and said, Tianxian, I know what you went through back then, but you can't sympathize with someone because of a similar background. Moreover, if the patriarch of my Qin family is executed casually, I am afraid that the foundation of the Qin family will be unstable. Don't forget, the Ye family is waiting for you. What's more, no matter how talented Qin Hao is, he is only a genius after all, not the best master in the world. So what about Qin Tian back then? Didn't he still use his genius to cause a scandal in my Qin family? This Qin Hao must not be spoiled. After that, the ancestor waved his hand and ignored the withered bone Dao ancestor. He walked out and walked towards the main hall where the patriarch was. Looking at the ancestor's decision, the withered bone Dao ancestor smiled bitterly in his heart. Maybe everything is really like what the ancestor said. The same. At least he is considering the overall situation of the Qin family, but based on his understanding of Qin Hao, it is destined that the matter will not end here. At least Qin Hao, I am afraid that it will not be so easy to deal with. Don't forget, he didn't say much about Qin Hao's strength and truth. Moreover, with Qin Hao's temper, he would probably become a benevolent person if he didn't succeed at this time. When the time comes, he would break up and fall out, and the Qin family would not end well. However, what Daozu Dry Bones is more confident about is that the Qin family is not Qin Hao's opponent. Hey, I tried my best. In this case, I have to leave it to fate. Withered Bone Taoist ancestor sighed and walked away. In the small pavilion in the backyard of Qin Mansion in Handan City, Qin Hao used Lianji Pure Fire to temper the forbidden breaking pill. The power of Lianji Pure Fire was really powerful. In just half an hour, that place the heart stone was completely refined, and then Qin Hao began to add the Lian Seeing Fruit. After about 3 minutes, with the power of Lianji Purifying Fire, the energy of the Lian Seeing Fruit had been completely refined. Qin Hao then added the moon white phosphorus fire dew. In half a minute, the Lianji Pure Fire slowly weakened, until it finally spontaneously extinguished half of it. Qin Hao hit the cauldron with seals one after another, and his quick skills were dazzling. It was Qin Tian's eyes that made many people dazzled. He has never seen the seal Jew before. This kid's cultivation in the alchemy path is not weak, and, from the looks of it, he has a great chance in the alchemy path. Qin Tian was pleasantly surprised. The more Qin Hao had the chance to be his son, the happier he would naturally be. However, speaking of it, being able to achieve such a powerful level of cultivation in 7 years is already beyond comparison. The ancient world is unparalleled in ancient times. Now Qin Hao is also very good at alchemy. If Qin Hao is allowed to show a more powerful weapon training, I am afraid Qin Tian will not be surprised, but will think it is its only natural. After all, what Qin Hao has shown before is unacceptable. Well, Qin Hao's magic power is getting stronger and faster, and his speed is getting faster and faster. At least with Qin Tian's sealed cultivation, it is I only saw a blur of hand shadows, and then I couldn't see anything at all. Condensate. Qin Hao let out a soft cry, and the magic power in his hand suddenly stopped, and the hand seals were cut off. The cauldron suddenly opened, and a strong fragrance of elixirs emerged from the cauldron. Then, Qin Hao reached out and grabbed dozens of pills. The elixir fell into the palm of his hand. Qin Tian glanced at it, but he saw about 20 clear yellow elixirs, emitting streams of clear light. Judging from this luster, he knew that they were the best elixirs. Upgrade to the 4th level. Qin Tian was slightly surprised, but he didn't expect this elixir to be so good. It seems that Qin Hao's alchemy cultivation is really outstanding, it's hard to say. After all, the entire world of monks, with the current world of cultivation, judging from the situation, anyone who can refine 5th grade elixirs can already become a master. Qin Hao can refine 4th grade high-level elixirs, which is something that ordinary masters have to work hard to refine. It can be seen from this that, Qin Hao's level of alchemy at this time is at the master level. If he practices hard for a while, he will definitely be at the master level. Okay, with this elixir, my restrictions can be broken. Even if there are more restrictions in the future, they will not be able to trap me, Qin Tian, haha. Qin Tian laughed, and immediately became unceremonious. He swallowed a forbidden pill in one gulp, sat cross-legged and meditated. This forbidden pill is indeed a 4th grade upper-level pill. Qin Tian just swallowed one, and he felt like the fluid flowed into the mouth. As it flowed along the meridians and dantian, which had been blocked by special means, and even the nascent soul, which had long been like a dead object, seemed to be alive. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 492. The forbidden breaking pill broke the blockade on the nascent soul in the meridians and dantian of the body. The forbidden breaking pill turned into body fluid still continued unabated, like spring water, blending into the shriveled meridians and dantian. Even the nascent soul, which was as dry as a stone, also refreshed with life. Kindness. Feeling the bursts of vitality emitted by the forbidden breaking pill, Qin Tian slowly mobilized the true energy that had not been used for more than 10 years. Because of the nourishment of the vitality power of the forbidden breaking pill, the meridians and dantian, which were originally dry, exuded infinite vitality, as if they were reborn. Qin Tian slowly mobilized the true energy. At first, the true energy was like a trickle, traveling from the meridians and dantian. Each time, only a small part flowed in or out. Gradually, the meridians nourished by the power of vitality became more and more tenacious, and Qin Tian dared to mobilize a large amount of true energy. After running the true energy in his body for several days, Qin Tian's true energy that had been sealed in dust for decades finally returned to his body. At this moment, Qin Tian suddenly felt a force suddenly pouring out from his limbs and hundreds of veins, turning into streams of pure true energy, feeding back to the nascent soul in his dantian. This is my breakthrough. Qin Tian was overjoyed, but he did not expect that he would break through at this moment when he regained his magic power. It seems that the ban for more than 10 years has actually contributed to his breakthrough. You must know that the higher the cultivation level, the more difficult it is to break through. Just like the saints from the Deluo stage to the Hunyuan, it is not impossible for some people to be trapped for hundreds or even thousands of years, but some geniuses can break through in an instant. Sometimes, these bottlenecks of understanding are as different as one. A person's talent does not matter. All they have is the understanding of the way of heaven and the understanding of heaven and earth. And Qin Tian spent hundreds of years in exchange for a breakthrough. If calculated, he actually made a profit. At the moment, Qin Tian did not dare to be careless and ran with all his strength. The true energy of the whole body, the skill is running. He has first solved the seal. It is said that the most feared thing about breaking through is not the lack of magic power, but the lack of insight and enlightenment. But at this moment, Qin Tian's situation is that he does not have enough magic power, and he has already learned the Tao and Seeing. So it is enough. Qin Tian, on the other hand, was depressed and tried his best to run around the sky. He didn't even care whether the meridians around his body could bear it. He could only desperately absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, turn it into his own mana, and try his best to help him break through. Qin Tian's predicament, Qin Hao he saw it in his eyes. He didn't dare to delay, and hurriedly produced a yuan buying pill for Qin Tian to take. This Bulletin Yuan pill was specifically designed to replenish mana. It was no different from the human-shaped nascent soul. It was really different, but it was that the Baiwen pill is more pure. It can be taken by both demon cultivators and immortal cultivators, but only Qin Hao, who possesses the secret method of a demon cultivator, can swallow yuanying. In fact, this Baiwen pill is none other than Qin Hao himself. He was not a demon to begin with, and he could not devour the nascent soul forever. Therefore, he collected countless ancient magic secrets, combined with his own methods and Yan Li's guidance, to refine it. He became this yuan buying pill. Fortunately, he hadn't used up the practice yet, so it happened to be used by Qin Tian, but it was also Qin Tian's opportunity. After taking the yuan buying pill, majestic waves of energy suddenly poured out from the yuan buying pill. The spiritual power was circulated by Qin Tian and turned into true energy. Boom! 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 With the supply of magic power, Qin Tian was able to break through to the De Luo realm smoothly. De Luo period. Now, we are more confident. Qin Tian's breakthrough, Qin Hao is also sincerely happy. At least in the entire Hunyuan ancient world, De Luo masters are at the top. Unless they are extremely perverted characters, it is really impossible to kill De Luo masters. Easy. The father and son looked at each other and smiled, but they were even more determined to go to the Nightwish Mountains. At this moment, a servant suddenly stepped into the quiet courtyard. Qin Hao frowned and quietly he hid. As soon as the servant stepped in and bowed down, it was the ancestor of the Qin family who invited Qin Tian, Li Muwen, and Qin Haoshan to the main hall. Qin Haoshan. Qin Hao frowned, but he understood. Presumably the Withered Bones Taoist ancestor has revealed his identity, but that's okay. The Withered Bones Taoist ancestor allowed him to show his cards, and he was obviously very confident in dealing with Qin Yu, so Qin Hao was not worried. A showdown is a showdown. However, Xiao Bai still wanted to have a big fight, but he didn't expect that the ancestor of the Qin family personally invited him, and Xiran she couldn't refuse. At the moment, Qin Hao and others were not afraid, and now they went to spread the word. Regarding Qin Yu's matter, Qin Hao originally wanted to wait until the clan competition in the future to expose Qin Yu. But now that the Withered Bone Taoist ancestor has a way, Qin Hao is naturally more willing to take down Qin Yu now. At the moment, Qin Hao's family of 3 went to the main hall. Han City, Qin family main hall. As soon as he stepped into the main hall, Qin Hao saw that everyone was there, and the withered Taoist ancestor also sat down next to an old man. Needless to say, that towering old man, he is the ancestor of the Qin family, otherwise how could Qin Yu give up his identity and let the old man sit in front of him? See the ancestors. Sure enough, every person who comes into the hall must first pay homage to the ancestors of the Qin family. As soon as Qin Hao and others stepped into the hall, the entire hall fell silent, and even the ancestors locked their eyes. But the difference is that at the same time, everyone is looking at Qin Tian, while the ancestor is looking at Qin Hao. This Qin Tian has not become a servant of the Qin mansion. How come he still dares to step into this hall? Everyone with doubts on his face. Qin Yu's face was even more gloomy. He didn't know what he was thinking, but it was definitely not a good thing. Only some powerful masters, such as ancestor Qin Nanfei and others, had stepped into the Deluo realm. Experts who have been practicing for a long time can see at a glance that Qin Tian seal has been unlocked. Moreover, Qin Tian has miraculously entered Deluo. In the eyes of Qin Nanfei and others, it is really unbelievable. Perhaps the ancestors will Qin Tian the search was related to the fact that his cultivation was related to breaking through the seal. In the eyes of the ancestors, this Qin Hao was indeed powerful and very skilled, and he was able to break Qin Tian's seal. As for Qin Tian, he was also very powerful, and he actually broke through. In the Deluo period, at least for the Qin family, their strength has increased. Therefore, he is thinking about the placement of these people, and he has become more powerful and important. You must be Qin Tian. The ancestor spoke first. Qin Tian was frightened. Although he hated Qin Yu, how could he hate this ancestor? He was about to bow down. However, the ancestor laughed and said, "Okay. Okay, you actually broke through to the Deluo stage. In the future, my Qin family will have another top master. Well, Qin Tian, from now on you will be the elder of my Qin family. Also, give me the order to give the marrow cleansing pill, condense the true immortal status for Li Muwen, and allow me to practice the Qin family's skills." As soon as the ancestor said this, everyone present was stunned. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 493. In the history of the Qin family, there are too many cases where the patriarchs failed in battles and became direct servants. But it is definitely rare for Qin Tian to be directly promoted back by his very authoritative ancestor. And that marrow cleansing pill is the treasure of the Qin family. It takes 30 years to refine one pill, which consumes endless treasures. The magic of the marrow cleansing pill is specially prepared for people who cannot practice. Li Muwen, for example, is the type who cannot step into the immortal realm. However, Li Muwen had no merit, and his ancestors generously gave him the marrow cleansing pill. Even if Qin Tian became a master, there is still no merit without merit. At that moment, Qin Yu was the first to be dissatisfied, stood up and paid his respects. Ancestor, no, the marrow cleansing pill is the most precious treasure of my Qin family. Li Muwen has no merit, so why should he receive the marrow cleansing pill? As soon as Qin Yu said this, the ancestor looked at him deeply, as if he was disappointed and wondering what it was. In short, it was extremely complicated. Then, the ancestor said angrily, "I am the ancestor of the Qin family. Even if you want to canonize a person, you no longer have the right. When did you, the majestic patriarch, become my ancestor? Today's matter has been settled. Who dares to make irresponsible remarks? Don't blame me for being ruthless. Also, Qin Yu, I know there are some grievances between you brothers, but remember that our Qin family is the most important. Some grudges. Did the ancestors know something? Qin Yu has something in his heart and is uneasy, but according to his ancestors' intention, it seems that he is not going to pursue him. Qin Yu has no confidence in his heart and does not dare to openly oppose his ancestor, so he has to give up. Well, Qin Tian's matter has been resolved, but there is a second thing today, which is a great joy for my Qin family. This Qin Tianxiang is the 46th generation of my Qin family. He is also my nephew and your uncle and grandfather. Today he returns to my Qin family, and he will only be under me. You must not neglect him in the future. Everyone has already heard about this matter. In addition, he is still a master at the Dao ancestor level, and the ancestor has personally certified it, so everyone has nothing to object to. Now that the ancestor has confirmed his identity, everyone one by one, they came forward and bowed down, saying, "Uncle, Grandpa, Qin Tianxian, the dry bones Taoist ancestor, was also polite and accepted the ceremony happily. After everyone paid their respects, they heard the ancestor say, "Today, there is a third thing." Qin Haoshan, the grandson of Tianxian, is actually an expert in my Qin family. His name was Qin Hao, the son of Qin Tian. This is the main hall of the Qin family, and the people inside are all core figures. The ancestors were not worried about leaking the news, and directly announced Qin Hao's identity to everyone. Everyone knows Qin Hao, such as Qin Yu and others, with faces. The brush was darkened, and some people he didn't recognize looked confused. Qin Hao, on the other hand, had a look on his face that was indeed the case. The Taoist ancestor had already told his ancestor about it. Looking at the ancestor's posture, he first enshrined him. His own family, and then mentioned this matter again. "I am afraid that if the injustice is not redressed this time, then Qin Yu will be unlucky." Thinking of this, Qin Hao is in a good mood. Qin Hao is only over 100 years old now, but he has already reached the peak of Deluo. Even the elder Feng Qingyang of Qianlong Mountain was defeated by him. Such an emperor is truly unprecedented in our ancient world. As soon as the ancestor said this, it was like a series of bombs, bombing wildly among the crowd. Everyone had been in panic for a whole day. It takes 100 years to become a golden immortal, which is not a rare thing in the ancient world. Things like the 100 years to achieve Tei are also heard in rumors, but above Tei, especially starting from Deluo, in addition to the accumulation of mana, it also requires the understanding of the heaven, earth, and heaven. It does not take more than a few decades. Even a genius can't do it. But Qin Hao did it. It took 100 years to do it, which was absolutely unprecedented in the ancient world. In an instant, everyone understood what this meant and what it meant. And Qin Yu, his heart was bleeding. Qin Hao had nothing to do with his talent alone. His son was also very talented, not even inferior to Qin Tian back then, but in front of Qin Hao, he looked pale and powerless. If Qin Hao took this opportunity to make a comeback, fearing that if he were not an ancestor, he would betray him a little bit, and really care about what happened back then. Qin Yu was frightened and nervous, thinking about what he should do if the situation really happened. While he was thinking about it, he heard his ancestor say, "Qin Hao is an unparalleled talent of our Qin family. In the future, if our Qin family rises and wants to dominate the ancient world, this Qin Hao will be the rise of our Qin family rely on. Today I will grant Qin Hao the title of elder of my Qin family. He will have the right to enjoy the resources of the Qin family in the future." Everyone was suddenly stunned. I'm afraid that Qin Tian and the two of them have also caught the glory of Qin Hao. But think about it, such a monster-level genius can be defeated by the late Deluo, who is more than 100 years old. He defeated elder Feng Qingyang of Qianlong Mountain, which was enough to convince every one of them. You must know that although elder Feng Qingyang is in the late stage of Deluo, his real strength is also top among the late stage of Deluo, at least as far as everyone knows. Yes, Qin Yu is no match for elder Feng Qingyang. Congratulations to elder Qin Hao. Haha, congratulations to Qin Hao's nephew. Suddenly, everyone also knew that Qin Hao would definitely be a man who could dominate the Qin family in the future, and they all took the initiative to go forward and establish a good relationship with him. Even some old guys of the grandfather generation also took the initiative to approach Qin Hao. How? As for Qin Yu, he was originally worried that his ancestor would kill him so that he could sell him favors to Qin Hao. Now it seems that he didn't know whether his ancestor didn't know about it or didn't care about it, so he never mentioned it. After talking about meeting Qin Hao, he stopped talking. He was also happy to do so. Since Qin Hao was a genius, there was nothing he could do about it. Unless Qin Hao died one day, he would have to go up and say hello. So, this man was really thick-skinned, but he took the initiative to have a relationship with Qin Hao, as if he was as affectionate as he wanted. It would have been better if he didn't come forward, but as soon as he did, Qin Hao was immediately angry. He was on fire. If he were a genius, he would be a little arrogant. But Qin Hao didn't have it. What he had was a character that paid special attention to grudges. Just like this shameless and insidious villain Qin Yu, Qin Hao was absolutely tolerant. Not inferior to him. Today, the ancestor just keeps giving him sweet dates to win his heart, but never mentions Qin Yu's affairs. But this is something Qin Hao absolutely cannot tolerate. The ancestor, Qin Hao, had something to say, and he asked the ancestor to give Qin Hao an explanation. As soon as the statement came out, everyone was in an uproar. Let the ancestor explain to him that although Qin Hao is a genius, this statement is too much. Is there anything else that the ancestor has to deal with that he is sorry for Qin Hao? Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 494. After hearing Qin Hao's words, everyone was confused, but the ancestors were as clear as a mirror. Qin Hao, since all the past has passed, why bother worrying about it anymore? We are born from the same roots, so there is no need to worry about each other. The ancestor sighed softly, but he was trying to comfort Qin Hao. They are born from the same roots, so there is no need to rush into each other. Qin Hao sneered in his heart, thinking of all the things in the past. There was no tolerance at all, but more pain. He roared angrily and said to his ancestor back then, when he treated his own brother like this, did he ever think about it? Are born from the same roots. Even when he was chasing me, did he ever think that I was a member of the Qin family and his blood relative? Qin Hao became angrier and angrier, his eyes were red. When the ancestor saw it, he was suddenly shocked. This Qin Hao is so evil. Everyone didn't understand the riddle that Qin Hao and their ancestors were playing, but there were also some who understood. They sighed secretly in their hearts. Those who had done harm to their hearts trembled in their hearts. As for Qin Yu, he had a dark face and twinkling eyes. Uncertain. How could he not understand that he was so shrewd that Qin Hao was just talking about him and criticizing his actions back then? I just hope you put the overall situation first. Before the ancestor could finish speaking, he was ruthlessly interrupted by Qin Hao. If the ancestors can't punish these beasts that are angry with both humans and gods, Qin Hao will never give up easily. Presumptuous. Although Qin Yu did commit a heinous crime, when he heard Qin Hao's arrogant words, no matter how good-tempered his ancestor was, he was still very angry. He still suppressed the anger in his heart and said, Qin Tian, this matter you are the protagonist, can't you let it go? Unable to do Qin Hao's work, our ancestors can only look at Qin Tian. Ancestor, what Qin Tian suffered might not be anything, but whatever. Qin Tian is willing to take a step back. But after this major incident in the Nightwish Mountains, things have calmed down for the time being. He has to step down as the leader of the clan. No matter who takes the responsibility, he is not worthy of being the leader of the clan anymore. Qin Tian didn't know whether he thought of the old brotherhood or was a little indecisive in his character. In the end, he failed to be cruel and forced himself. Good. The ancestor also knew that Qin Tian had already taken a big step back, and even he had no reason not to agree. Immediately, he said to Qin Yu, the matter of the Nightwish mountain range is over. You must step down as the clan leader. Cultivate your moral character and don't do it again. Qin Yu's face darkened and he was uncertain. He didn't know what he was thinking. But he was a sensible person after all. He knew that his situation was over for the time being, so he could only say respectfully, Qin Yu respects the decree of our ancestors. After that, he retreated without saying a word. Now, Qin Tian didn't care anymore. Qin Hao wanted to pursue it, but he couldn't. If he didn't give face to his ancestor, how could he not give face to his father Qin Tian? Originally, Qin Hao couldn't give face to his ancestor. This is how the matter should end. Qin Tian's family can be said to have won a great victory. But just as the ancestor called Qin Hao by name and asked everyone to disperse, a servant hurried to the main hall to report. Someone sent Elder Zhang Li back. Li Nai was the vanguard sent by the Qin family to the Nightwish Mountains to inquire about information. Now the forces in the entire Hunyuan ancient realm have focused their attention on the Nightwish Mountains. But it has been more than a month, and there are no spies from these forces. After one person came back, everyone did not dare to explore again easily. They only hoped that the previous spies could come back before they dared to continue taking action. Now Zhang Li has been sent back. Who is it? What happened to Zhang Li? He actually wants someone else. Farewell. The ancestor couldn't sit still anymore. After all, it was about the immortal mansion and the chaos spiritual treasure. He stood up and walked out of the palace. Everyone followed the ancestor. Qin Hao and Qin Tian heard that it was Zhang Li after being sent back. They were even more worried about the surprise, so they hurried out. Zhang Li was indeed sent back, but he was extremely injured when he was sent back. He couldn't move, as if he had experienced what a tragic life and death fight. The muscles and veins in his body were severely damaged, and he is still unconscious in his nascent soul consciousness. The ancestors gave Zhang Li the healing pill and ordered people to send him down. In Zhang Li's current state, unconscious, how could he know what happened? Afterwards, the ancestors personally interrogated the servant. Who sent Zhang Li back? The servant said that it was Zhang Li who came back by himself, because when he found Zhang Li was already unconscious in the Qin mansion. Well, the ancestors frowned. With the cultivation of masters like them, because, within half a mile, it is really not that easy for anyone to get close to them. However, in the dignified Qin mansion compound, an elder was sent back quietly, and even he did not notice it. The cultivation level is really appalling. Ancestor, Zhang Li may be in a lot of trouble when he comes back this time. Yes, countless forces in the Hunyuan ancient realm sent spies to Nightwish Forest, but only Zhang Li came back. Looking at Zhang Li like this, I'm afraid the others may have perished. However, if those forces knew that Zhang Li was back, they probably wouldn't let it go. Everyone was shouting, and suddenly dozens of powerful magic powers gathered at the Qin mansion. The ancestor said with a bitter smile. I'm afraid they've already discovered it, and it's coming soon. Sure enough, another servant came to report dozens of monks from various major forces came to the Qin mansion to visit. Well. The ancestor frowned, thought for a moment, and said please. In the reception hall of the Qin mansion, Qin Hao and others were sitting on their respective elders' seats. Not long after, dozens of monks poured in from outside the hall. With Qin Hao's strength, naturally it can be found that the most powerful among them are all late de Luo, and there are even several saint masters. Even one or two of them, Qin Hao can feel that there is a pressure of magic power on their body that is not inferior to that of the withered bone Taoist. I'm afraid this he must be the top existence in the ancient world of Hunyuan. Qin Hao thought to himself, but he heard that the dozens of monks were divided into dozens of groups, but they belonged to each party. There were the Ye family of Kanglong Kingdom, Yan the Ming clan of the country and the Su clan of the Liulai Kingdom are all royal families of the Hunyuan ancient realm, and they are the heads of the three major kingdoms respectively. Qin Hao also paid special attention to the Ming clan. Minglan I once said that he is the prince of the Yan kingdom, and he should be of the Ming family. The rest are some royal families similar to the Qin family, namely the Nanming family, the Xiao family, the Chang family, and the Yun family. Wait. There are some other forces, such as the Qianlong mountain lineage, the Yuanyao Valley lineage, etc. However, what surprised Qin Hao is that only 2 people from the Qianlong mountain lineage came, but there was no Master Feng Haikao. He originally wanted to ask, but all the elders and even ancestors were there. Qin Hao wanted to speak, but it was difficult for him to do so. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 495. Senior Qin Lan, people of the Ming dynasty do not speak secretly. I am here because of the news about the Night Wishing Mountain range. We have sent experts to the Night Wish Mountains to investigate the news. It has been a month since everyone has come back. We suspect that they have fallen. As for what happened, I don't know. I heard that Zhang Li, the spy of the Qin mansion, has returned. I hope that Senior Qin Lan can give me some advice and help me clear up my doubts. However, the Ye family has a faint tendency to take the lead, and all the forces seem to follow his lead. The elders of the Ye family, who are the grandfathers of today's Ye 11, should now be saints and masters. It is an existence that is not inferior to the withered bone Dao ancestor. But compared to Qin Lan, the ancestor of the Qin family and the peak master of the Dao ancestor, there is still a gap, so he must not be polite when speaking. Well, Qin Lan, the ancestor of the Qin family, frowned, but Qin Yu answered on his behalf. To be honest, Zhang Li is indeed back, but he was seriously injured and unconscious. He is currently being treated. Unless he wakes up, I'm afraid no one will know the news. Don't say that Zhang Li is really in a coma. Even if there is news, naturally he can't tell others easily. After all, the news that the masters of the Qin family fought so hard to get is not important. If it is really related to the immortal mansion and chaos Ling Bao, whoever gets it first will have the most hope. How can you say it so easily? But naturally, everyone didn't believe these words. They only heard the elder Ye sneer. If Zhang Lijian was seriously injured and unconscious, how could he come back? This reason is really lame. I don't know what the Ye family has in mind. It's like provocation, specifically targeting the Qin family. It is true that I don't know who sent Zhang Li back. Haha, with Senior Qin Lan here, even the master of the Hunyuan ancient world, the number one master, does not have the ability to quietly send Zhang Li to the Qin family. And no one knows it. The heroes naturally didn't believe it. Hearing these people's outrageous words, the ancestors were furious. The power of the Dao ancestor was released, and everyone was shocked. I'm not dead yet. If someone wants to act recklessly in my Qin family, don't blame me for being unkind. I didn't expect that the ancestor of Qin Lan also has such a decisive side, and he is not angry. Also, with his cultivation experience, he is the top existence in any case. If he can't even handle such a small scene, how can he do it? Become a top master. Sure enough, when the ancestor showed his power, everyone suddenly woke up, and no one dared to be presumptuous. Immediately, someone was embarrassed and the atmosphere was not good, so they waved and left. Everyone left unhappy and left one after another. Qin, however, seized the opportunity and saw that the Qianlong mountain lineage was about to leave, so he stepped forward and said, "Are you the seniors of Qianlong mountain? Kindness. Not bad, are you? Those people have suffered bad luck in the Qin family, but now a member of the Qin family appears. They have met them in the hall, so naturally they will not have anything nice to say to them. I am the elder of the Qin family, and I have some friendship with the elder Feng Haikao of Qianlong mountain. I heard that he is also running for news about the Night Wishes Mountains. I wonder how he is doing now." As soon as these words came out, the expressions of those people changed, and they immediately frowned and said junior brother Feng Haikao and senior brother have been sent to the Yiwan Mountains. As for whether it is okay, I can only ask Zhang Li of your Qin family. Got it? What, went to the Night Wish Mountains? Qin Hao's face suddenly changed color. If he asked again, those people from Qianlong Mountain had disappeared and left the Qin family. Master Feng Haikao went to the Night Wishes Mountains. I'm afraid something is not good. No, I have to discuss it with Dad. Considering Zhang Li's situation, Qin Hao finally felt that something was wrong, and hurriedly went to find Qin Tian. When the major forces left the Qin mansion, they all looked gloomy and immediately sent their own people. You guys are watching here. If there is any change in the Qin family, please notify us immediately. I want to take it all to myself, but it's impossible. The forces like these went to the Qin family to really inquire about the news, but it was not for the life and death of the spies. Just some subordinates would die if they died. The key is the news about the Nightwish Mountains, which is related to the Immortal Mansion and Chaos. Lingbao. For 10 days, for 10 whole days, the entire Qin mansion was immersed in anxiety. Even Qin Hao had no time to argue with Qin Yu. Master Feng Haikao went to the Nightwish Mountains. Life or death is uncertain, and with Qin Hao's character, he will naturally not ignore him. But Zhang Li has not yet woken up. Even if Qin Hao wants to go, he must first inquire about good news with Zhang Li, and then act with the target. Instead of going blindly. No matter how high his cultivation level is, dozens of masters will fall into trouble. Sometimes, you really can't be too confident. At least, when Qin Hao and Qin Tian discussed it, Qin Tian didn't allow him a reckless action. 10 days passed in a hurry, and just when Qin Hao was waiting impatiently, the dead bones came with the secret news that Zhang Li had woken up. After that, the ancestor summoned Zhang Li in person and talked with him in detail. Afterwards, he didn't know what the news was, so he went to arrange it himself. Then, Qin Hao finally couldn't wait and went to the door. At this moment, Zhang Li looked extremely thin because of his injury. Although he was I woke up, but after all, the injury was too serious, and the injury has not healed yet. Bang! 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 Please come in. Hearing that familiar yet fragile voice, Qin Hao and Qin Tian, father and son, were not polite and pushed the door open. Brother Qin. Immediately, Zhang Li stared at Qin Hao for a long time. He felt that this man's cultivation level was really high, even better than his own. At least Zhang Li couldn't tell his cultivation level. But there was something familiar between this man's features. However, the aura was blocked by the strong murderous aura. Inadvertently discovering that Qin Hao and Qin Tian were somewhat similar, Zhang Li suddenly thought of an impossible possibility and tentatively said, "Are you Qin Hao?" The ancestor obviously only asked Zhang Li about the Nightwish's mountains, and had no obligation to tell Zhang Li about Qin Hao, a servant. So Zhang Li didn't know anything about Qin Hao. At least in Qin dynasty Hao entered the illusion of death, and there has been no news since the Tianji island of Kangyu Island wiped out the Killing Island. But at this moment, seeing the familiarity between their eyebrows and the similarity between the two, Zhang Li has experienced a series of life and death in recent days. It was thrilling, even his mind seemed to be suddenly opened, and he dared to think about anything. So he boldly guessed that this person was Qin Hao. Uncle Zhang actually recognized me. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 496. Qin Hao's face lit up with joy, but this was not an act, it was true. He grew up in the Qin family, and apart from his parents, he was the closest uncle to Zhang Li. Otherwise, Qin Hao and his son would not have decided to venture to the Nightwish forest for Zhang Li. When Qin Hao came back this time, no one in the entire Qin family recognized him, except his parents. Zhang Li could recognize him, which at least showed the sincerity of the feelings involved. You actually came out of the illusion of death. Good boy, you are amazing, you are really amazing. It only took you 7 years. Your cultivation level is so high that even I can't see through it. You can even break out of the illusion of death. You are really like a tiger with no sun. He slapped your dad to death on the beach, haha. Zhang Li laughed, but unlike others, seeing that Qin Hao could become the top master in the entire Hunyuan ancient world in 100 years, he was shocked to be an unparalleled talent. Zhang Li looked at Qin Hao growing up. At least Zhang Li knew better than others how strong Qin Hao's willpower was. So in his opinion, it was natural for Qin Hao to achieve such achievements. On the contrary, he was less surprised. Maybe this was just emotion. The charm of it? Tell me quickly, what's so fun about that illusion of death? Zhang Li laughed, but he described the death illusion as fun. Even Qin Hao also felt the changes in Zhang Li. At least he felt that Uncle Zhang Li, who was deep before, seemed to have become cheerful. Yes, between life and death, there will be many transformations, whether it be true heart, personality, or feelings. This trip to the Nightwish Mountains was really the biggest life and death experience for Zhang Li, and even his whole person suddenly became enlightened. It was as if he saw a new world. His whole personality has also changed. Qin Hao felt this way, but it was true. Qin Hao still trusted Zhang Li quite a lot. At that moment, he picked up the rather strange thing in the death illusion. Thrilling things, he told about his journey to the death illusion. Except for King Yan and others, Qin Hao didn't even hide the secrets of the passage and told them all. It has to be said that Qin Hao's experience in the death illusion is more, the lifetime experiences of masters like them are much more exciting. Zhang Li thought that his life and death experience this time could already be called a legend. But after listening to Qin Hao's experience, he realized that Qin Hao's experience was true legend. Qin Hao, you must remember that your identity as a demon cultivator must not be revealed. Unless one day you can reach the point where you can cover the sky with one hand in the entire Hunyuan ancient world, otherwise if your identity as a demon cultivator is revealed, thousands of monks may hunt you down. Zhang Li sighed softly. Speaking of it, he has been in this world of cultivation longer than Qin Hao. Although he does not have the wonderful legendary experience in the death illusion like Qin Hao, for the world of monks, after all, he is better than Qin Hao. Hao knows a lot more. Well, Qin Hao said a little kindness, but at this moment he was more like a child. Brother Zhang, what exactly happened when you went to the Nightwish's mountains? Why are there no news from the spies from all the major forces, and even no news from Senior Feng Haikao? Qin Tian asked. It's a long story. If I hadn't been lucky this time and an expert rescued me, I might have ended up there with my life and death unknown. As soon as Zhang Li said this, Qin Tian was surprised. An expert? Could it be the one who sent you back? Yes, speaking of it, I don't know that master either, but he was very weird. There were obviously many monks at that time, but he only saved me. Moreover, this expert has a strange appearance, with red hair. He doesn't look like a native of Kanglong country. As for my cultivation, to be honest, I, Zhang Li, seldom convince others. But this master is truly so powerful that even I, Zhang Li, have to admire him. After Zhang Li said this, Qin Tian was thinking about when such a powerful expert appeared in the entire Hunyuan ancient world. He knew that when he sent Zhang Li back, he even hid it from his ancestor Qin Lan. After searching his mind, he found that his cultivation level was really astonishing. On the contrary, when Qin Hao heard Zhang Li say that the man looked strange, with red hair, and his cultivation level was extremely high, he didn't look like a Kanglong countryman. Suddenly, a person appeared in his heart. With an excited expression on his face, could it be him? Immediately he said to himself, yes, except him, who else in the entire world of monks has such a powerful cultivation level? Qin Tian and Zhang Li were confused by Qin Hao's soliloquy, and asked one after another who. Qin Hao smiled mysteriously. In this world, who else can have such a perverted cultivation level except my master Yan Wang? Qin Tian and Zhang Li also suddenly realized, remembering that Qin Hao actually said that he met an immortal master in the illusion of death. That's right. Who else has such strength besides the immortal? Zhang Li affirmed Qin Hao's. He said with a wry smile, I never thought that being able to escape this time was not due to my luck, but to Qin Hao's great blessing. Suddenly, the three of them laughed loudly, still in the wine shop in Handan City. King Yan was like a drunkard, so unhappy that when the three of them mentioned him, he started to react. Good boy, you finally remember me. It's not in vain that I went to the Nightwish Mountains. I didn't forget to leave a hole for you, but you need to fill in the rest yourself. The descendants of King Yan, well, they need to practice hard. Immediately, King Yan laughed and went to drink on his own. The Yiwan Mountains, backed by Han City, the capital of Kanglong Kingdom, stretched across millions of miles in the primordial realm. There was the endless night in the mountains. Wish Forest. It is rumored that the other end of the Nightwish Mountains is the most mysterious sea of winged dragon sand in the ancient world. However, no one has ever been there. At least according to the factual records, very few people have been able to cross the entire Nightwish Mountains. Because the Nightwish Mountains, together with the Death Illusion and the Winged Dragon Sand Sea, are known as the three most dangerous places in the ancient world. If the Winged Dragon Sand Sea is the legendary paradise of immortals, then the Death Illusion is the purgatory of monks, and the Nightwish Mountains are a paradise for ferocious beasts. There are many of them, whether they are star, moon, or sun-level ferocious beasts. The number is huge, let alone tens of thousands. Someone once said that if someone could control the entire night, the army of ferocious beasts in the Wish Mountain range is unstoppable even if it directly breaks through the three empires. But how can the ferocious beasts be controlled? Even ordinary monks, when they need a magic pet, the master can only dare to wander around the periphery of the Nightwish Mountains, looking for lone ferocious beasts. Throughout the Nightwish Mountains and even the Nightwish Forest within it, from the periphery to the core, the levels of ferocious beasts are getting higher and higher. Star-level ferocious beasts, in ordinary among human immortal cultivators, they are absolutely invincible within the same level. The moon-level ferocious beast can kill enemies across one level, and the sun-level ferocious beast can kill enemies across two levels. Fantasy. After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 497. In the Nightwish Mountains and Nightwish Forest, star-level beasts are already the most common existence. The moon-level beast is just a small lord, while the sun-level beast is a lord in the inner circle. The outskirts of the Nightwish Mountains and Nightwish Forest are mostly ferocious beasts ranging from the Foundation Establishment stage to the Golden Core stage. And in the middle is the Delugo period ferocious beast. As for the entire inner perimeter of the Nightwish Mountains, that is, in the Nightwish Forest, legend has it that there are some ferocious beasts that are more powerful than human monks. They can even surpass the Dao ancestor and step into it. There are also many people in the Supreme Realm. There are even legends that there are legendary beasts in the core area. Immortal cultivators are not as powerful as ferocious beasts. As a result, the Nightwish Forest is a restricted area for human cultivators, and almost no one dares to enter. Even on ordinary days, some Delugo stage masters wandered in the middle of the Nightwish Mountains, and their chances of survival were also very unstable. Once you encounter a moon-level beast in the Delugo stage, or an ordinary Hunyuan beast, you can't escape even if you want to. Because this Nightwish Forest is a world of ferocious beasts. When a ferocious beast roars, all beasts boil. But today, Qin Hao had to go to the Nightwish Mountains, which was regarded as a forbidden area by everyone, because he had already learned the answer he wanted from Zhang Li. It is possible that Feng Haikao and others are not dead, but are trapped in a mysterious place in the middle of the Nightwish Mountains. One person and one sword, flying rapidly in the sky, wrong. There is also a little pet, a mythical beast to be precise, Xiaobai. Qin Hao ran out secretly, because if he didn't run, he wouldn't be able to walk alone. Qin Hao knew very well that because he was a cultivator of both immortals and demons, he had an advantage when facing vicious beasts, at least not like those who cultivated immortals. Moreover, the Nightwish mountain range is a world of ferocious beasts. Too many people will be a burden, which is not conducive to one's escape. What's more, Qin Hao has many ways to save his life, not to mention his strong strength, and his Tianquo suppressing and concealment functions, so who can find him? Even when he escaped from the Qin family's mansion, he relied on the concealment function of this Tianquo. And the most important thing is that there is a mythical beast Xiaobai beside him. Beasts are also divided into levels, and those in higher positions have a natural coercion on those in lower positions. As the divine beast is the king of beasts, as long as Xiaobai roars, all beasts will surrender. If he, Qin Hao, hadn't wanted to train himself, just let Xiaobai roar, and although not necessarily all the ferocious beasts in the Nightwish Mountains will surrender, at least there is no problem in saving their lives. So Qin Hao is very confident. He believes in his own strength and ability. As long as Feng Haikao is still alive, he can save him. However, what Qin Hao didn't know was that as soon as he left Han City and showed traces, he was immediately targeted by countless forces. The Qin family took action, and those forces were like flies that smelled the smell of meat, quietly following behind. Then, another figure sneaked into the Qin mansion and paid homage to the ancestors of the Qin family. The Qin family immediately sent out men to head to the Nightwish Mountains. Even though Qin Hao had seen the Hongduan Mountains in Luofu Mountain, he was still shocked by the majestic and mysterious Yuang Mountains that stretched for millions of miles. With Qin Hao's cultivation at this time, as far as he could see, he could vaguely see a hazy area thousands of miles away, which obviously looked like a lush green area, which should be the Nightwish Forest in the Nightwish Mountains. Legend has it that at the other end of the Nightwish Mountains is the boundless sea. In that sea, there is a mysterious monk's paradise called the Yujiao San Sea. Qin Hao has never been to the Nightwish Mountains, and this is his first time here. He grew up in the Qin mansion in Handan City. It was not very far from Handan City, but as Qin Hao was only a direct servant, he naturally had no chance to come. After that, they went to Qianlong Mountain. After gaining strength, they had to run through the trials of the death illusion. It was really tiring. This Nightwish mountain range is really amazing. Standing on the top of a mountain in the Nightwish Mountains, it is not even considered the outskirts of the Nightwish Mountains. Qin Hao could feel the thousands of breaths in the mountains, which were the breaths of true immortals, golden immortals, and ferocious beasts. Either in groups of 3 or 5, or in 2s and 3s, as if they were hungry wolves, waiting for food to be delivered to their door. Xiao Qinzi, do you want me to help you? Just watch me, Xiaobai, roar and make sure that the ferocious beasts on the outskirts of the Nightwish mountain range run away and retreat cleanly. Then we can go in without any worries. Xiaobai is quite successful. He has eaten and drank enough in the Qin mansion. Now he is full, warm, and lustful. He wants to show off his magical beast skills and show off his power, but Qin Hao is despised for a while. Now Xiaobai naturally they can't take action, not to mention how terrifying there are in the Nightwish forest inside the Nightwish Mountains. I don't know if Xiaobai can scare them. If that doesn't work, he can first scare the ferocious beasts outside, but he is alarmed. The ferocious beasts in the inner circle. I am afraid that it will be more difficult to step into the depths. It should be noted that when the ferocious beasts are trained to a powerful level, just like in the Deluo stage, they will have the same wisdom as humans. The ferocious beasts at this time it can no longer be called a ferocious beast, and it is not an exaggeration to call it an orc. Therefore, Qin Hao's strategy is to sneak in secretly. At least as an ordinary monk, it is inevitable that someone will come to the Nightwish Mountains to look for a demon pet. It's a very common thing. And Qin Hao's strategy is to pretend to be ordinary monks searching for magic pets. As long as they don't cause vibrations from the ferocious beasts inside the Nightwish forest, they have a high chance of sneaking into it and finding the trapped Feng. The mystery of Master Haikao. As for Zhen Tianzhuo and Xiao Bai, Qin Hao regarded them as two life-saving trump cards. After thinking about everything, Xiao Bai sank into Qin Hao's storage space, and Qin Hao flashed. Disappeared on the top of the mountain, obviously going to the Nightwish Mountains. After a long time, dozens of figures fell again outside the Nightwish Mountains. If Qin Hao were here, he would definitely recognize that these people were not the same group who went to Qin's house to question. "How's it going? What about the boy?" Seeing Qin Hao disappear, everyone started talking. The elder of the Ye family frowned and said, "That kid must have entered the Nightwish Mountains. We should catch up with him. If we follow him, we will definitely find something." "No. The Nightwish mountain range is so terrifying. If he dares to sneak into the inner circle, even if he enters the middle, we will have a narrow escape. These people have obviously been training in the Nightwish Mountains for a long time. The difference is that even if they are some masters of the Deluo stage, many of them are likely to fall in the middle. So they are usually on the periphery and dare not step into the middle. People who are either extremely strong or have a lot of means to save their lives. The next one is those who don't care about life at all. Wealth can be found in danger. If the immortal mansion is really in the middle, and since you don't dare to enter, then don't even think about it. I'll chase it myself."